Good day, BIR Kadas! Today, we're gonna talk about basic information for new registrants. Paano nga ba mag-register sa BIR? First, we have to go through the primary registration, the application for taxpayer identification number. Ano nga ba ang TIN? It is a system-generated reference index number issued and assigned by the BIR to each and every person registered. Take note, only one TIN shall be assigned to each taxpayer. Hence, having multiple TIN is punishable by law. Also, it is non-transferable. Every person subject to internal revenue tax are required by law to be registered with the BIR under Section 236 of the NIRC. For TIN application, kailangan natin malaman bakit, kailan, at saan tayo magpaparegister. Parties with one-time transactions who, at the time of their transaction, have not yet been issued a TIN shall apply for issuance thereof at the time of payment of the tax due. BIR Form 1904 shall be used. For sale of real property, they should register under the Revenue District Office where the real property is located. For estate, it shall be the residence of the decedent at the time of death. For sale of unlisted shares, it is where the seller is registered. For sale of listed shares, it is where the stock exchange is located. And lastly, for donation, it is the residence of the donor. Individuals who are registering with the Bureau of Internal Revenue for the first time by reason of employment are required to register within 10 days from the date of employment using BIR Form 1902. Pursuant to Executive Order 98, Series of 1998, persons, whether natural or juridical, dealing with all government agencies and instrumentalities are thereby required to incorporate their TIN in documents which they secure from these government agencies and instrumentalities. Application using BIR Form 1904 shall be accomplished and filed before transacting with any government agencies under the Revenue District Office having jurisdiction over the residence of the applicant. Self-employed individuals who may either be a single proprietor, engage in business, or in practice of his or her profession shall register with the Bureau of Internal Revenue using BIR Form 1901 on or before the commencement of business, which shall be reckoned from the day when the first sale transaction occurred or within 30 calendar days from the issuance of mayor's permit or professional tax receipt by the local government unit. They should register under the RDO having jurisdiction over their place of business. Corporations and their branches, if any, shall register using BIR Form 1903 on or before the commencement of business, which shall be reckoned from the day when the first sale transaction occurred or within 30 calendar days from the issuance of mayor's permit or professional tax receipt by the local government unit. Their Securities and Exchange Commission's certificate of registration or the date of its first sales transaction prior to its registration. They should register under the RDO having jurisdiction over the place of business. Ngayon, alamin naman natin kung ano-ano ang mga kailangan isumite sa pagpaparehistro. In addition to the two original BIR forms required earlier, these documents are also required for non-business taxpayers. First, any government-issued ID that shows the name, address, and birth date of the applicant. In case the ID has no address, any proof of residence. Take note that it should be readable, untampered, and contains consistent information with the documents submitted upon application. Second, if transacting through a representative, special power of attorney shall be executed by the taxpayer applicant stating the BIR and the purpose or transaction, together with any government-issued ID of the taxpayer and authorized representative. Third, marriage contract for married females. And lastly, for local employees, employment contract or any equivalent document indicating the duration of employment, compensation and other benefits, and scope of duties. We also have additional requirements for business taxpayers. First, for sole proprietor or professionals not regulated by the Professional Regulation Commission, any government-issued ID or PRC ID if engaged in practice of profession. Second, final and clear sample of own principal receipts and/or invoices from their chosen accredited printer who will print the receipts and invoices. Third, payment of registration fee of 500 pesos and 30 pesos for loose DST. Next, special power of attorney executed by taxpayer applicant together with any government-issued ID of the taxpayer and authorized representative if transacting through a representative. Also, DTI if with business name, franchise documents for tricycle operators, trust agreement for trusts, certificate of authority for BMBEs, proof of registration for BOI, PEZA, BCDA, and SBMA. Ano-ano naman ang mga dapat natin iparehistro sa BIR? We have to register our principal place of business, branches, sales outlets, places of production, warehouses or storage places, admin and booking offices. Upon completion of the registration, the taxpayer will now be issued BIR Form 2303 or the Certificate of Registration, must issue receipt poster, and authority to print. Features of Certificate of Registration includes TIN, name of taxpayer, registration date, registered address, tax types, filing start date, form types, trade name, line of business or activity, signature of the Revenue District Officer, and documentary stamp. Persons not covered by the issuance of COR are employees, one-time taxpayers, and those issued under EO 98. Aside from the COR, the Bureau of Internal Revenue will also give a must-issue receipt poster. This is to remind taxpayers that issuance of receipt or invoice for every sale of good or service rendered is a must. COR must issue receipt poster and BIR Form 0605 with payment slip are to be posted in a way that is clearly visible to the public. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please leave a thumbs up if you like our video.